Hello, hello. I see that everyone is starting to join right now. Excellent. Hi, Charmaine.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Good to be here this evening.
Oh, it's good to have you. So I just want to get everything set up a little bit while people start joining us. You can, say hi to everyone as they join us. Hi, Zainab. Hi, Susan. I see Barbara, Geetha on. I'm just going to start streaming this on our Facebook page at the same time. Charmaine, you'll see what I see on the screen, and I'll also be running your deck as we speak. Wow, I'm just like getting a close-up of myself. Why do I look so tired?
It's 8 o'clock, it's been a long day, I'm sure.
It has been, but because it gets dark so early, I guess my body is going, it's time for bed.
I know. This is it. I mean, as soon as those clocks go back and it's dark when you're leaving work. It's dark when you're leaving the house.
Yes, it can be depressing, but what can we do?
I just think, once next month comes, the days will start getting longer again.
It will also start getting colder. I don't know how everyone feels or where everyone is from, but let me tell you, it is winter out there.
Yes.
It's cold. I'm going to try to type a message as I'm sharing to everyone here, all attendees. Oh, good. There we go. So everyone can start conversing with us. I don't know where my share is. Okay, I'm still trying to go live. Okay, there we go. Give me a second, please, everyone. I usually try to get things going right at 8. We're just a minute behind, but it's okay. It will work well. So I have to say, Charmaine, you are the first webinar that we are hosting since I went on a 1-month business semi-vacation. I took the whole month of October off, which I really needed because I wanted to just, get just a moment to be, really, and to try to give myself a mental business break. So we didn't have any webinars for the month of October, and you're the first one in after October. So it's really exciting.
Yeah, I feel honored. And a month's break sounds great.
The best thing ever. I mean, I was on a break, but I also did still do stuff behind the scenes, but the commitment was minimal because I didn't have to really commit to answering emails right away and things like that. So yeah, it helped. I think everyone should try it. I'm still just typing just to get everything out. And we should be going live. What do you mean? Unable to stream? Okay, I'll try again once we get started. Okay, so what I'd like to do first is just to really talk to everyone. So Zainab, you're from Toronto. Sylvia, you're from Markham. Geetha, you're from the Toronto area. Okay. Nice to know where everyone's from. If you want to tell us a little bit about your businesses, that would be good. Or if you have any questions during the webinar, please be sure to type them in here or you can type them in the Q&A box. I will be paying attention to that. Charmaine, like I said, you'll be able to see everything I see. So I will try to pause in between and pose any questions that might arise. And I'll be taking my notes and writing down questions at the same time too. I think my lighting is really making me look tired, but I actually just, during my month, I redid my office area. So I have a new desk and lamps and everything, lights that work. So I guess it really does work. Outside of that, for people who, there are some names I've never seen before on the chat right now, but I'm Dwayne Peel, and I'm the founder of Canadian Small Business Women, and we host about 6 in-person events per year, but I like to do things like these, like webinars, where we can really learn as much as we can in 1 hour. 1 hour is not a lot out of someone's day, which is why 8 to 9 o'clock, it's usually like a really good time period, because if you have kids, they're usually, in bed by that time. And if not, by 8 o'clock, you've finished, whatever chores you want to do, you've had dinner, and it's like your time to relax. So why not relax and learn at the same time? So these webinars are also going to be available for rewatch on our YouTube channel. It will stay up there forever. So if you feel like you've missed something, don't worry, you can always watch it again. And you'll always be able to reach out to Charmaine, because I'll send everyone her contact information. Aside from that, I don't usually really like talking too much about myself. I usually like giving the floor to the speaker. I will interject occasionally just to tell you a little bit about what we have coming up, or obviously if I have questions, I will interject. And yeah, we have some fun stuff for the month of November. So Charmaine's kicking off the fun, and we'll definitely add to it as the month progresses. I see someone from Manitoulin Island. Wow, I've always wanted to go there. That is awesome. My sister goes to school in Sudbury, and that's as far as I've made it, but I will get to Manitoulin Island one day.
Yeah, I've never heard of that. So yeah.
It's a little, I wouldn't say it's too far. It's about 4 hours to Sudbury, and then you have to get on a ferry to get to Manitoulin Island. It's, yeah, Women of Manitoulin Entrepreneur Network. Well, it is very nice to meet you, Barbara. So what I'm going to do then, Charmaine, if you'd like me to start running your deck, or if you wanted to say anything before I start running your deck, please do let me know.
We can get started.
All right, so I'm going to share my screen, and we can start rocking and rolling. And you can always just tell me next. I will be, going as, I'll be trying to gauge as we go along. But yes, please do.
Okay, so good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining. Well, and thank you for having me on the webinar this evening. I'm really excited to be here. I mean, I have done Facebook Lives, but this is actually my first webinar, so I feel honored to be on your for your first November guest this evening. But my name's Charmaine Bryan. I am an image consultant, and I help professional women who want to optimize their image, in particular, upgrade their appearance, behavior, and communication. But as we go through the presentation, I'll be telling you a bit more about that. And cultivating your professional image is something that a lot of people are interested in, certainly having businesses. It's about creating that great first impression. So that's something that's near and dear to me, especially as making that great first impression is so key when you're meeting someone for the first time, because you may get that first impression back, but it's really about putting it out there. And you may say, well, of course, it's obvious, make that great first impression. Everyone knows that. But not necessarily people do it and underestimate it. So if you think about how many of us who are on the webinar this evening, I think when I last saw there's probably about 10 of us on the webinar. If you think about any new clients or prospects that you meet, and we were all in the same industry, who is it that that client or prospect will go to? That person who makes the great first impression, versus if you don't, then they may forget about you. So it's always about thinking about making that first impression when you meet someone, whether it's in person, whether it's online. We're in a social media world, and that's equally just as important. So that's what I'll be talking about this evening. But before we go into cultivating your professional image, just to tell you a little bit about me and I guess why I do what I do. I guess I'm going back to when I was in my 20s. I was going up the career ladder, wanting to get that promotion. And, I was working in the government department back then, doing really interesting work. And I think I'd been in that department for about 2 years. I'd applied for various promotions and wasn't getting them, and was wondering, well, why am I not getting them? I got good feedback on the interviews, but was just never really getting the promotions whenever anything came up. And I remember one day I was in a meeting with people who, we'd pretty much had similar experience. They had started getting promoted before I did. And I was thinking, well, why are they getting promoted over me? And I guess at that time I was having a confidence crisis. I wasn't really confident in how I looked. I worked in an office environment that tended to be kind of smart casual if on a day-to-day, but generally if you were meeting with clients or sponsors, you would get dressed up, you'd get more dressed smarter for meetings. So I pretty much did that. I did the smart casual look. I would wear jeans on a day-to-day, and then come meetings, I would dress more professionally. And then when the light bulb went off for me one day when I sat around in a meeting with others, and I realized these people dress professionally every day. And then that's when I realized that's why I probably was not getting promoted. So I started dressing professionally every day. And interestingly enough, the next promotion I went for, I got the job. And not only did I get the job, it was a maternity cover at the time. So it was really just for, I think it was 6 to 9 months. Once that time was up and the person was coming back, they actually, while I didn't keep the job that I was doing, they did keep me at the level and offered me another job in the department. So I found it really interesting that when I decided to put effort into my image every day and actually dress for the job that I wanted, it was amazing how it made a huge difference in terms of how I was presenting myself. And that was just dress. I mean, I did go on to do training on optimizing my presentations and communications, but it was interesting at the time what a difference it made. And I guess from there on, whenever I was working in a role, I ensured that I was dressing for the role I wanted, or at least at a level, even if the company had a particular dress code that was casual at the time. So that was really something that was important for me. And I guess when I got into image consulting, even more so, I decided, well, this is what I've done for myself. I really want to help others so that they're not, when they're presenting themselves at work or for their business to meet clients, they're putting their best foot forward. So that's my story. Okay, so in terms of why cultivating your professional image, why is this for you? Well, it's for you if I talked about making that great first impression. If you want to make the great first impression, definitely cultivate your professional image. If you want to present yourself professionally every day, cultivate your professional image. If you want to secure the next opportunity, a new client, a promotion, cultivate your professional image. It's just so key. And we'll be going through that. Could you forward the slides if you...
I just forwarded to the next one.
Oh gosh, how comes I'm not seeing?
Did you see Ken Tasnuva?
Yeah, it just seems to be a bit frozen on here. That's strange.
So I have the image of Tasnuva. I guess it might be before and after.
Yes. Okay, I mean, I can talk to that. That's a bit strange. So Tasnuva was one of my first clients who I worked with, and when she came to me, she didn't feel confident in how she looked. I guess she had 2 young children, and I guess if some of you on like have young children, she had, her children were her priority. She wasn't really thinking about how she looked. It was just get up, get dressed every day, go to work. But she was feeling frumpy and not happy with her image. So she decided, when we decided to work together, she said, I really want to optimize my image so that I am making an impact. I'm making a great first impression more so than just feeling frumpy in what I'm wearing. So we talked about her style and what her signature style was, and an image that she wanted to portray. So we went through style, colors, what suited her body type, what her lifestyle was, so we could put together outfits that reflected her particular lifestyle. And after working through this with Tasnuva and going through that transformation, when I spoke to her shortly afterwards, she was getting some great feedback, not only from friends but from her husband, who, suddenly he said to her, "Why are you suddenly looking hot every day?" And she said her husband was usually a quiet man who didn't really comment very much. And also she said at work, her CEO stopped by her desk one day and told her how great she looked. Again, this was a first for her. So she really valued working together and transforming her image, which then went on to build her confidence, meaning then when she went to look for jobs outside of the organization, she felt she was putting her best foot forward. And I would say she's definitely one of my favorite clients, being one of my first. I always like to talk about her because I guess it was when I realized doing image consulting could really make an impact and help others, as well as, I guess, it was more than just, this was me upgrading my image. I could really make an impact on others' lives. So that's why I do what I do. And I enjoy working with professional women in particular, because I guess that was me. Tasnuva was me. And any other clients I've worked with ever since, I see a part of myself in them. So next slide.
Are you able to see when I advance the slides?
No, it's still frozen.
This is, do you happen to have, maybe you can open yours on the screen? Because I'm on slide number 5.
Okay, I will, I will just go with my slides. It's probably easiest.
Yeah, and everyone will see what you're saying anyway.
Yeah. Okay, where am I? So by the end of this session, you will learn how to maximize, how to make a great first impression in a business setting, and how to build a job-ready wardrobe that will last you a lifetime, potentially saving you thousands of dollars from wardrobe blunders. So I'm sure many, if you are like me, you may go shopping and buy an outfit and find that you don't necessarily wear it maybe after once or twice. So firstly, I just want to start with what image is. And I guess when I meet people and tell people I'm an image consultant, many of them must, they say to me, well, what's that? And the general impression most people think of image consultant is fashion styling or personal shopping. And there is an element, of course, of styling and dressing and looking great, but there's more to image than just that. There's also the behavior aspect and the communication aspect. Okay, yeah, I've got you there. Great.
All right, I think I probably had something else selected. That's probably why.
Okay. Yeah, I see it now. So image makes up the appearance, behavior, and communication. And to go into more detail about what those entail, so the next slide shows the breakdown of how the appearance, behavior, and communication is. So, for example, appearance is things like style, which most of you probably know. So, styling for your body type, your personality, for your lifestyle, grooming, wardrobing, how to put together a wardrobe for your lifestyle, how to audit a wardrobe, shopping, color analysis, what colors suit you. So I guess that's what most people think of image when they think of their image. It's the appearance piece. But as I said, there's also behavior. So with things like social and business etiquette, dining etiquette, if you're out meeting clients or meeting new people at networking events, the etiquette, things like personal power, so personal development, any blocks you may be going through, how to optimize your potential, and then things like energy management. So that can be wellness, internal state, life balance, and lastly, communication. So it could be interpersonal communication, so how you interact with colleagues, with clients, how to handle conflict. The big one being public image, especially on social media these days. If you're giving presentations online or live in front of big audiences, and generally building relationships with clients, customers, colleagues. So as you can see, that's a variety there that image consulting covers and how you can optimize your image. Well, of course, I cannot cover all those things on the webinar this evening. This will take us probably several weeks, if not months, if I was to cover all those topics. So this evening, I'm going to be focusing on levels of dress. But before we get to that, I just want to put a question out there to you. Why do you think it's important to have such a great image? Just put some comments in the chat as to why you think it's important to have a great image and how you're portraying, how to portray yourself.
I think, at least for me, I can speak on it while everyone talks, or while everyone types. I know initially in my business, I like to be comfortable, but it might not necessarily be frumpy, but comfortable is good for me. But I've noticed that depending on where I'm going, I need to be very professional because I am my brand. And when people meet me and I say, I own Canadian Small Businesswoman, they might already have a judgment just based on my image. Now, to be totally honest, I don't care, but because the business is not about me, I have to start caring because it's about, the members and all the people who are looking for business opportunities or looking for resources. So I have to present myself as them, not as me. So I have to put my best self forward.
Absolutely. And that's it. I mean, and it's funny because I do meet people who say, oh, I don't really care about my image. It's people take me as is. And I get that. I get that wanting to just be yourself and be authentic. And I absolutely think that you should be, don't take on someone else's demeanor. Do be yourself, but be the best of yourself.
Right.
I
See,
think
Barbara says here, it's important to come across professionally for the audience to believe in you. That is true.
Absolutely. I mean, if you turn up at a presentation or you turn up at an interview and you're dressed sloppy, I mean, no one's going to take you seriously. Unfortunately, even if you're saying the greatest things, they're just not going to get past how you look or how you're coming across. I mean, and it's showing, could possibly be showing them that you don't care, and why should they do business with you, or why should they take you on in their company?
That's true. There's another comment. What is that? Zainab said that your image is a reflection of your personality and mental state at times, so you want to look proper.
Absolutely. I mean, you know what they say, fake it till you make it. And I really do think that's true. I think even if you're not feeling in the best of moods, or I think if you do decide to get up and put on a really nice outfit, decide to put on a sunny demeanor, even if you don't necessarily feel that way, you suddenly start to feel a little bit better. I think it really does make a difference.
Yeah, I try to psych myself out in the winter. I hate winter. I try to psych myself out on gloomy days by wearing bright colors, because then at least I start feeling a little bit, happier about the gloom.
Absolutely, especially now this time of year with longer nights, and yeah, definitely some colors. I absolutely say help. I mean, and unfortunately, I find a lot of the time the default color in the winter is black and
Gray.
yeah, and it's just like, I think despite it being cold, we do have some sunny days, even if we don't feel the heat. So put on some bright colors.
What did I see something else? Catherine. I design a clothing brand, even though it's casual wear. I try and dress for the occasion I'm attending, and my brand of clothing. It's important to believe in what I do, and hopefully it shows confidence in personal self and business. Kathy.
Oh yeah, I do love that.
Yeah, branding. Good.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference. So, as I said, I think this evening I wanted to concentrate on levels of business stress, because you do find sometimes you go into organizations, or you may be going to do a presentation somewhere, and it can be hard to distinguish between, well, what does business casual mean, or what is formal, what is corporate? It's really knowing those different levels of business stress. And there's actually, I would say, that these are the 5 for business. So formal, corporate, which is like business, where professional and casual professional are business casual, and smart casual is, I guess, it's the casual end of business. It's more the dress down Friday, but I'll go through those step by step, and in terms of how, what they are at each level. But if you're talking about non-business wear, then it would be casual, like leisure wear or evening wear. So informal evening wear, and more smarter evening wear. But I'm not going to be focusing on, just to let you know that there are levels, but just to focus on the business today. So the top end is the formal corporate wear, and that is really where working in law firms, banks, tend to be C-level or senior level executives tend to dress at this level. It's, as I said, if you work on Bay Street, for example, in Toronto, I guess you'll see a lot of people who dress at this formal corporate level. And just to really go into some more detail about what that involves, there's a lot of, I don't want to say rules, but there's not much to show your personality when you're dressing at the formal corporate level. It's almost like you're wearing a uniform and everyone pretty much looks the same. So, for example, both men and women are wearing dark suits at this level. They tend to be suits that tend to be fine textured material. As I said, there's no colors really involved. You tend to wear white shirts at this level, and if you're, especially women, tend to wear shirts that are higher level, so you're not really seeing any skin at this level. It is tend to be high button neck tops. Men will wear ties, and you will tend to be wearing darker smart shoes that are tend to be classic. As I said, not much in terms of personality at this level. I find women, this is probably one of the hardest levels for women to dress at. I had a client recently, and we went shopping, and she needed a corporate wardrobe because she'd just been promoted. And it was really, really hard to find clothes at this level for women, because you're wearing a suit and it's always a jacket and skirt for women. So number one, that's challenging, as well as finding the right type of white shirt as well. So I find it really challenging at this level for women. It's a lot easier for men. They have a lot of choice, but women at the formal corporate, really challenging. Not impossible, but I would probably imagine that probably the women on this webinar are not dressing at the formal corporate. So you probably do not have that much to worry about there, but you may come across clients perhaps who may be dressing at this level.
Or we need to just redesign what formal corporate looks like. Because if you can't find the clothing, that means that the market is saying that formal corporate is really for men.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, as I said, I found it, I mean, if I'm going to dress a woman who is really needing to dress at the corporate level, I say go for level 2, which is the next level down. It's formal, it's corporate. So the difference is that with that one, it really and truly is not much of a difference, but women can start to, instead of wearing a skirt and jacket, they can actually wear a trouser suit, which I find is more easier to find at that level. But it's still quite similar in terms of their colors tend to be dark. The material is like fine wool. The shirts are still white. So as I said, really the difference between the two is that women can wear a trouser suit versus having to wear a skirt and a jacket at that level, which makes it a little bit easier for women. And if I do find that I'm working with women at that level, I do say to them, go as close as you can, and level 2 corporate is probably as close as you can get if you're working in a law firm or high level finance, as it's quite challenging to dress women. Again, it depends on the organization and how strict they are. If you're working on Bay Street, yes, but if you're working in a more, for government, for example, not so much. If you're an entrepreneur, again, it's probably unlikely that you're dressing at this level unless you're doing a really high level pitch to corporate clients.
I'm really shocked at the lack of availability at the formal corporate level.
I know. It's interesting because I remember when I studied, when I was, taking my classes in image consulting, and I said, "Oh, that must be wrong. You must be able to find clothes at that level." But as I said, I took a couple of clients shopping at that level, and I was shocked at how challenging it was. As I said, as I say to them, go the nearest you can get away with.
The corporate level, okay.
Yeah. But as I said, women can wear trouser suits, so that makes it slightly easier. And the detail can be slightly bigger at the corporate level as well. I mean, you can't go for crazy prints, of course, but you can start going for pinstripes and subtle checks that really is pretty much non-existent at the formal corporate level. And as we go down the levels, the neckline for women starts getting lower and lower. So whereas at the formal corporate, you're pretty much wearing a shirt that's right at the top of your neck, you can go down at the corporate level 1 inch lower. And so going in.
I have an interesting question. I'm interested to know, like, when you were taking these courses, do you know if, like, the developer of these courses were male or female?
Well, interestingly enough, my trainer back then, she was probably one of the first image consultants in Canada. And so she kind of, I guess she went on I think it was the original training that came from men.
That's what it sounds like, right? So if you're up here with me and I'm your, like, equal, then we dress alike. But if you're the person who grabs my coffee, make your neckline a little lower, right?
That makes sense. And I guess even when you think about it now, those those who are dressing at the higher level, who are sitting at the top of the organizations.
Yeah.
Even with all this, women being educated and more women going into the workforce, it is still men who are sitting on top. And it's, as much as I think women are leaning in now.
At least this is giving us all the ideas for when we are hiring our staff and what our expectations should be in terms of dress code. But I know for most entrepreneurs, we're a little bit more relaxed, but at least we will be able to know when we're meeting with these corporate clients what their levels of expectations are, and maybe how seriously they'll take us depending on the levels of dress.
Absolutely. I mean, and I feel like, so going into level 3, which is professional, this is the level where most entrepreneurs are dressed. Most entrepreneurs dress at the professional level. So the difference between professional and level 1 and level 2 and level 3 is that at this level, you don't need to wear a suit, or you can wear a jacket or a pants. It doesn't need to match at this level. So you can still look smart, you can still look professional. It just doesn't have to be a matching suit at this level. When I think this is a level that most entrepreneurs or middle managers would dress at. And it would be perfectly acceptable even to go into a presentation to present to a corporate client at this level. I don't necessarily believe that even if you are presenting corporate that you have to be dressing at their level. I think professional is good enough. I mean, of course, if you want to go higher, great, but I think for an entrepreneur, a professional level is great, and you're still portraying that first impression that you want to portray. At this level, you can show a bit more personality because you can put more colors in there. There's the fabrics and the textures can be stronger at this level, and you can wear brighter and warmer colors at this level. So it's not all the dark, navy blues, the blacks, the gray suits. You can start going with more color, and as I like to say, it's showing off your personality and your branding especially. You can come into your own, that you're still looking professional, but you're still showing you and being authentic to you, rather than, I think at the higher levels, I always like to say it's you're wearing a uniform pretty much. And again, the neckline can get lower at this level. You can wear a neckline that's 2 inches from the base of your neck.
Really, 2 inches.
But you're still looking professional at this level. And I think this is a good level for, most people. And I think a lot of organizations adopt, most organizations, if you're working in government or you're working in a creative industry or in IT or any other industry apart from the traditional banking, finance, law, perhaps. I think this is the professional level, this business level of dress is where most people will dress and look professional. And taking it that little bit casual, so it'd be professional casual, where at that level you don't necessarily need to wear a jacket, so you can wear a skirt and a shirt, or you can wear pants or trousers and a sweater at this level. So it's more casual. So you can still look professional, but it just means you don't need to wear a jacket at this level. And again, you can even go for fabrics that are even stronger, such as tweeds, knits, corduroys. But you can still look professional at this level. It's just that you don't need the jacket anymore. And I guess at this level, this is where you tend to be in your day-to-day in the office. You may or may not be seeing clients who are high level, so to speak, or it could be that you're a consultant working on site in a company. You could be, as I said, working in a creative industries, at this level, in government, and if you're working from a co-working space. And again, the neckline at this level is now 3 inches.
Namaste. You can tell I'm really amused by the neckline, right?
I know. I mean, it's interesting that you wouldn't really think about that. So when you kind of see, some women wearing a really low neckline, some organizations can frown upon that if they have that in their dress code. I mean, certainly I used to work for a non-profit that it was business casual, and we had dress down Fridays. But dress down Fridays wasn't really dress down Fridays because our CEO didn't like us looking casual. So, there was no point in calling it dress down Fridays.
So this will be inappropriate because this is like more than 3 inches, and I like V-necks. So I would have to be like, maybe this. Okay.
Or you could wear a top underneath.
Underneath it. Yeah. Okay, I'm learning things here, because I do like to be I like rules that I can follow.
I mean, again, it depends on the organization as well. I mean, I would say most organizations sit at this level. They fall between, they're either professional or they're professional casual. The smart casual, which is the last level down that you can get away with wearing to work. And that is if you're smart casual, as if you're maybe an IT technician or you're working in the arts, for example. So, I work part-time for an arts non-profit, and it is very much smart casual. You can wear jeans to work. I mean, certainly I worked for a festival when you could wear shorts to work. Yeah, so, providing you wasn't showing bum cheeks, shorts worked in that environment. I mean, of course, you couldn't necessarily go into, I don't know, a government department and wear shorts. It would be frowned upon.
Right.
So, the smart casual is really, if you are really working in an arts environment or IT, very casual IT, could be your dress down Friday day in other environments, or it could just generally be what you wear day to day outside of work. The smart casual look, I find, is what most people probably wear. And again, and with the smart casual look, it's very much most things go. So you can wear t-shirts, sandals, not flip-flops. Though you can wear mini skirts. Probably.
Flip-flops is something that really bothers me in the workplace. That is one thing that I can't handle. Well, no, there are two things. Flip-flops and workout pants.
They're not acceptable in the workplace. I mean,
know, but a
yeah.
lot of people wear them and they try to dress them up. But those are things. But I think it depends too on where you're from and what kind of. I don't want to make it sound bad in terms of where you're from, but yes, where you're from. Like, I'm from Jamaica. It's very professional. It's insanely professional to go to work. In 100 degrees, you're still wearing stockings. So for me to see flip flops, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's just crazy to me. Yeah.
And that always surprises me whenever I've been to Jamaica and I see I see them, but I just think, are you not hot? I'm boiling here.
Hot or not, that is what's expected. So yeah, I mean, I don't do that, but I can't handle flip flops and workout pants. Can't I can't handle it. So I don't know if anyone has questions. I know I was interjecting a lot with questions because I do that. I did have some stuff. I know it depends on budget and it depends on lifestyle, but I'm a believer in having specific items of clothing for specific things. Like you have work clothes and play clothes and home clothes. And if you're going to the supermarket, you should probably wear jeans. Or if you're going to the mall, you should wear jeans. But if you're wearing workout clothes, it's for workout, right? I like things in order. So I don't know what your take is on mixing and matching certain levels of outfits.
Well, I agree with you. It is that you do have different outfits for different things. I guess when I work with clients, we put together wardrobe plans depending on their lifestyle. So it's really based on how much you spend doing certain things. Most people, unfortunately or not, spend a lot of time at work. So therefore, your workwear will take up the bulk of your wardrobe.
That's
And
true.
then it would be so say for example, if you're working in that environment where, I don't know, if you've say got your professional or your professional casual, say you would have maybe a wardrobe of 20 hours, for example. Most people it's about 100 hours a week roughly that you would wear clothing. So probably the bulk of that, so 24 up to about 40 hours is your working clothing. And then you would have, as you said, if you work out how many hours a week, you'd have your workout clothing. If you go to fancy events a lot, you will have another wardrobe for that, but probably not as many, because unless you're out every night, if you're probably only doing those things now and again, so you don't need to have as many evening dresses, for example.
Mhm.
And then you would probably have maybe the same amount of, say, smart casual that you would wear on the day-to-day if you're running errands or going shopping or meeting with friends or doing an informal evening out.
So for a lot of entrepreneurs, we do a lot of networking, right? So when it comes to different types of networking events, so let's say you go to a male dominated event and then a female heavy event, how would you approach each event in terms of attire? Are you still doing it based on the level of not really the crowd that you're with, but the fact that it's a networking event for your business?
Yeah, it would really base on, I guess, the type of networking event that you're going to. I mean, I suppose if you're going to something with other entrepreneurs, I would say you could go with the professional casual level.
Whether you're with like a female dominated or male dominated.
No, I don't think it really makes any difference in that sense.
Just
Yeah.
the event type. Okay.
Mhm.
I seem to have a lot of questions. I still think, Charmaine, you should redesign everything based on the Charmaine method. Those necklines.
I mean,
It's kind of scary. That is the acceptable. Like, I mean, if my neckline ends here, I mean, yeah. I'm really going to start looking at everything I wear differently.
I mean, those are okay. So those are like they're the rules, so to speak. Of course, I kind of feel like other factors may override the rules. I mean, and then this is going to what suits your body type, because, if you are a woman who, is a is more bustier, wearing something up here is just only emphasizing. So, you are better off wearing something that's a lower neckline. And even if it means maybe you tie a scarf around your neck, perhaps, for example, if you are in a more corporate environment, because all that's just doing is just creating that attention in that area. If you are more busty, as say, if you are not so busty, then you're okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I think certain factors do override the rules. I mean, and this is, as I said, it's really going to dressing for your body type, your height. If you're tall, that would be more important. If you're really tall, that's more important than other factors. So I think it really does depend on, what is the priority here. When I'm working with clients, I look at them, it's not let's one size fit all. It depends on the individual person.
Yeah, that's true. Because a skirt that will fit me is not going to fit somebody who's 6'3", the same type. Because then it might be, a mini skirt for them. Okay, body type. I'm going to really start looking at these things. I like this. I'm looking to see what other things I jotted down. I think those were the two I jotted down. Oh, I would like to say, if you have any words of wisdom that you'd like to leave everyone with. We actually did pretty good for time. We have 10 minutes.
Okay, great. I guess in terms of words of wisdom, I would say that although I talked about these 5 levels of dress, of course, try embrace them, but it's not you have to do this. As I said, people are individual. It's about being authentic to you. And if you are uncomfortable in a certain style or dress type, then don't wear it, is what I say, number one, because you're not going to be comfortable, you're not going to be confident, and it's not worth it. I mean, of course, on the other hand, if you're in organizations, I mean, and on this group, you're entrepreneurs, so there's some more leeway there. So, which is great. It means that you can input your own personality, which is, I think, is, that is the great thing about being an entrepreneur and being self-employed. You can create your own brand, but it's really creating the brand that reflects you, that creates the best first impression for you. Because when someone meets you, they're making that snap judgment about you as quickly as the 10th of a second.
Yeah, that's true.
So
I just thought of another question. Nails and nail color in like the workplace, because yeah, I don't want to ask anymore.
Okay, so I would say for corporate, you're probably like best to go more low key. For the other levels, you're fine.
Is this low key? or no?
No, those are fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it's if you decide to go neon yellow or green, that's
Don't wear my flag colors. Got it.
yeah. But yeah, those colors that you're wearing are perfectly fine. I think that they'll be seen as good neutral colors.
Wow. This has been enlightening. I'm not going to lie. It's been very eye-opening. I really have to I'm going to start looking more at what I wear to certain events for sure, as well as what I wear when I have certain meetings, because I'm interested to see if it makes a difference in terms of how people initially respond, right? Because whether or not they say yes or no to whatever the offer would be on the table, that's different. But that initial reaction and that reception that you get when you're dressed the part, I guess it's a good start, right? So I'm very interested. I'm very thankful. I learned a lot. I really did. I really learned a lot. Wow. Thank you, Charmaine.
Well, thank you for having me on here this evening.
Oh,
This was great. I mean, I've always been on other webinars, so it's
it's pretty like I'm seriously in awe. I'm really going to start looking at what I wear for certain things. Meetings, I am corporating it up. You watch.
I mean, this is where, I mean, I guess you can never really be too overdressed.
Right. I would prefer to be overdressed than underdressed in any occasion. I would prefer.
I mean, and probably best if you, at least if you're overdressed, you can always take your jacket off.
Right. Right. And you did say dress for what you want, not what you have. So
Yeah, I mean, I guess, well, once I realized that, then
the rest is easy.
it does make a difference. I mean, again, it depends who you're working with as well.
Wow. Okay, Zainab said, thank you, ladies. Me too. I'm glad you enjoyed it. This really has been good. So again, like I said, this will be up on our YouTube channel. It was live streamed to our private Facebook group. And I am really happy. Thank you so much. And thank you for everyone who joined us. We do have, like I said, we do have a giveaway that's coming up for the month of November. I probably will start it. It's going to be strictly on social media. You want this. And because you guys are on the webinar, I'll let you in on what the actual giveaway is. It's going to be a copy of Michelle Obama's book. So I wish I could do that faster. Ooh, that was pretty good. So yeah, stay tuned for that on all our social media channels. Mm-hmm. And we do have all our events listed for all of our signature events listed for 2019 on our website as well as on our Facebook page. So if you want to join us at any of our events, please do feel free to reach out to us. Our first one is going to be in February in Markham. So yeah, I do look forward to seeing everyone. And thank you so much for spending your evening with us. And thank you again to Charmaine for really dropping some golden nuggets on us, because I am going to really go through my closet right now. And I'm not joking. Going to go and assess my closet and start wearing some more jackets. Little higher neckline. All right. So yes, have a great evening. It is 8:56. We did very well. And you can reach Charmaine. I know she is on Facebook. Do you want to give out your social handles?
Yes, I'm on Facebook, Charmaine Bryan Image Consulting. That's my business page. Also on Instagram by the same name. That's my handle. And you can connect with me on LinkedIn, Charmaine Bryan.
And then the website.
The website, yes, of course, charmainebryan.com. You can come find me on my website, drop me an email, info@charmainebryan.com. If you want to reach out, I offer 30-minute image strategy sessions where we can talk through your requirements. At least, if anything, you leave with what you know you would need or want to work on. So absolutely reach out. And also you can download a free chapter from my book, Stop Buying Clothes You Don't Wear. I think the link is, actually, in fact, I can post the link in the comment.
Post the link in here. And if you email it to me, I'm sending everything to all the registrants.
Okay, where is the link?
So within the hour, this will be on YouTube, and you will also get an email from me. Hard at work tonight. There we go. Perfect. So everyone click on that link, please. And let me copy it from now so that I can have it to create the email that I will be sending. I'm good, have it. So yes, thank you, ladies. Gemma, Denise, Zainab, which is still like one of my favorite names ever. I love the name Zainab. Sylvia, Catherine, Elena, Denise, and Charmaine. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me this evening.
You have a fantastic night.
You too. Keep warm.
Oh my gosh, I will. I will try. Okay. All right, bye everyone.